anyway, speaking about money, speaking about Disney, speaking about Marvel, that kind of leads me to something that's been probably not good for them recently because their box office numbers have been not doing well. And now Wish came out, which is right up there forefront. We're getting an animated movie coming out. It's going to be the big thing, make lots of money, but did it make lots of money? It did not. And that leads me to our featured story of the night. Come on, let's get this. Now, as we talked about, of course, Disney, it's all about the money, listen to the money, all that, So when it comes to them, though, they had Wish come out. So if you haven't heard of Wish, I guarantee you had to have heard of Wish. But Wish is their new animated movie, of course, Wish Upon a Star, make your dreams come true. We all know the whole spiel from Disney from back in the day. So they made this animated movie. Chris Pine's in it too, playing Prince Charming. It was an animated musical fable that was going to make a lot of money for Disney because this year has kind of sucked. The one that's made the most money for them has been Guardians recently. Guardians 3 made $845 million. Everything else has been barely making its money, if not for them. Indiana Jones didn't do well. And I thought that was a good movie, but again, it didn't do well. People, I guess, didn't want to see it. Look at the Marvels. Look at The Haunted Mansion came out. That was like a fart in the wind too. I actually like that movie as well. Ant-Man Quantumania, I worked on that. I love that movie. Didn't do as well as they wanted to make. And then Wish came out, and this is the Disney thing. It's going to be a good thing for us this year. And it made $30 million. $31.7 million over 5 days of the Thanksgiving weekend, which usually $30 million is a good opening thing, $30 million. We hope they're probably hoping to make $150 million opening weekend. They made 31.7 over 5 days. And Disney, $200 million on production a lot of times, $100 million on all of their marketing. That's a staple for them. Of course, this didn't cost that much, but still animated. It costs a lot of money. You're paying a lot of animators. All their animators have been fighting them. It's been a big thing for Disney. Everyone's been trash talking Bob Iger online because of all of the strike stuff. Disney is in a spot right now where I feel like people just want to hate on them because they know the inner politics and they don't like it. And they did the best when they had the MCU with the Endgame and all that was when they were killing it. And now everything, they're spending the same amount of money and not making the return. Talking about cutting everything up at Disney Plus. Bob Iger, we talked about that. Cutting a bunch of productions there. Only focus on features. So is Disney in trouble? That's the question today. Is Disney in trouble? We see something like Wish, which should be Wish Upon a Star, that should be something that makes money for them, and it's not. Ron, their formula has worked for years. Do you think Disney is finally in trouble and people are seeing them for who they really are? Or do you think that this is just a time because of the strikes, because of COVID stuff, people are not going to theaters like they used to still? How do you feel about this?
You know what? I think this is going to be for a while. We're still in the backlash of the strikes. And like we talked about last week with publicity and stuff like that, it's just not happening. And this is still part of that. It's only been a couple of weeks. Yeah. So that is part of it. But a $30 million opening for 5 days is not good. I think the formula is tired. And I don't think Disney is keeping up with the times of things. And I think that's the main problem. Is Disney going to be in trouble? They're not going to be in trouble. They're not going to see things like they used to. But you know what? Most companies and people are not seeing things like they used to. So the fact that it's hitting Disney.
Yeah. Do you think that Bob Iger is worried at all? Probably not. You don't think he is,
what was his bonus? $350?
He got 20 million before. That was 20 million.
It was just, it was absurd what he got. And it's just, is he worried? No, he doesn't. But, yeah.
But his job, Ron, is to come in there and clean house and fix everything. That's what they said. He's coming in there because when they got rid of Chapek, that was a whole thing that Disney was on the wrong track, right? We got to bring the golden boy, Bob Iger, back. And it's not, it takes time to fix something that's broken, right?
It does. But people don't have time. People don't want to have time. It's like, I always was wondering why a company would spend all this money to put out a show, a series. And NBC was notorious for this. They'd air it 3 times. It didn't perform. Cut. Gone. 3
See you later.
times. That's an hour and a half of sitcom. It's like, how can anybody mesh? So it's just way too cutthroat. Maybe this is going to slow things down.
It might slow it down, and they might look at things differently now from a production standpoint, how they're going to make things, what they're going to spend. And after like a whole year of like it, I mean, again, they've lost a lot because of the strikes. They lost a lot because people are not going to theaters. People are mad at them. People have been canceling Disney Plus. Hence why they raised their rates just like Apple. Everybody's raising their rates. Hey, Jacob, do you think they're in trouble? Do you agree with Ron? They'll be okay at the end of the day? Or do you think that maybe Disney needs to start looking at their fan base and looking at their box office numbers and maybe change their game a little bit?
Pass.
No.
He's like, I'm going to work for Disney tomorrow, so I can't talk about this anymore.
I'll talk shit about Disney all day.
Burning bridges for KJ.
How they roll. Yeah, I burn bridges all the time. I don't give a fuck about Disney. I've worked for Disney. It's the same shit with everything that you see happening. They're no different than remakes. They're just trying to capitalize on stuff that is not successful, and they keep throwing money at it. You know, they're no different than Universal buying up the Exorcist franchise and failing horribly. They're just doing
$400 million bucks.
Yeah, they're just doing it with their own franchise, and it's like I get the idea and the concept. It's clever, but like, where was the execution in it? And also, I don't feel that these big productions give things a chance. You know, like Ron was saying with sitcoms, you know, you have these 3 viewings and they're going, all the good shows out there, all the good films out there, they don't get that promotion time. They don't get the viewing time. They get put out there. It has a slow return and it gets shut down. But look at this 10, 15 years later, it's a cult smash. It's like made tons of revenue in streaming and tons of revenue in physical form, people buying copies of it. So like maybe give something a chance, maybe wait a little bit. Also, here's a thought. When you're doing an animation, maybe don't invest $200 million into it.
Right?
Just saying.
And that's what it was. It literally was a $200 million budget for this animated movie.
How much of that was spent on prime Hollywood talent instead of voice actors that would have done a better job?
Well,
right there, Mike, right there. You said it.
20 producers.
And that's a big problem too. It's like,
also, you know where they failed? They hired the wrong Chris. They hired the wrong Chris. They needed Pratt. They needed Pratt. We know it's all about Pratt.
Keep him back. Keep him in the closet. That's the best part about this project is that the Chris they chose was not Pratt.
It was not Pratt. That was their first fuck up. Was they didn't hire the Pratt. They should have hired Pratt.
I think he's too busy being Garfield right now. He's too busy being Garfield.
He's too busy dominating the voice acting world because people are tired of his face, but not his voice.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I went there.
How much can one man do? How much can he do? Like I said, he's Mario, he's Garfield, he's
not a Wish Upon a Star though.
This is three afternoons of work, Brian. I mean, come on,
it's true.
voice acting.
So Mike, look at the voiceover world, because again, you're very much involved with that too, working for Pocket FM. What do you think about this? Do you think that maybe Disney needs to look at their paychecks, and maybe we should start paying new voice talent to come forward as opposed to paying the big paychecks? Do you think that's their problem, or do you think it's just across the board a managing problem why they're not doing that well?
Brian,
or could be something else.
Thanks for the Pocket FM nod. I am on a new project. I don't know the title of the project yet. I'm waiting for it, so I'll let you guys know once it gets started. If it's something I can be proud of. If it's not something I can be proud of, then I'm going to hide in my clamshell. Deep
I'm going back too, Mike. I'm going back too. They called me.
Which is where I go to. Right, which is where I am right now. Actually, that's why that explains the darkness behind me.
You created your own void.
I wrote a damn article about Wish, like just because it's based on the Disney song "When You Wish Upon a Star" from Pinocchio, which is crazy, but it's full of all kinds of like traditional, esoteric, magical doctrine, like which you know is my shit. I love to read old papyrus. You guys know that stuff, so I won't get into that. What I will get into is a review that I read from Wendy Ide at the Observer in the UK, okay?
Yeah, she knows her shit.
All right.
Maybe. This shit made sense to me. She said, Disney celebrates its centenary with a grimly cynical marketing exercise wrapped in a sparkly cloak of an escapist animated fairy tale. And it's the same issue.
Shit.
Like, I think that's pretty savage. Like,
she burned that bridge.
Very savage, Mike.
you gotta give.
Burning should be on cruise control.
A hot take for the night is her.
That's a great idea. You gotta give money to the talent. You gotta follow the talent, right?
Yes.
Not follow the money. Like,
right.
And I mean, I don't know how much we can continue to say that, but like it also
man.
Well, we continue to say it because they continue to do it. That's what they've been doing. They just throw money at it instead of it's supposed to be fucking art. Like $30 million would be a huge success if it was 1997.
Huge. We're at,
and also
we're at a
they made $30 million. They could have spent that easily on this fucking film.
Yeah,
look at even The Exorcist
point where the culture is getting sick of it. And again, I don't know how long this. Ron, you might have insight into this, like how long the cultural cycle is, because clothes seem to redo it every like 20, 22, 25 years. Like maybe people like the commercialism thing and then get sick of the commercialism thing with some sort of regularity. Because based on this kind of stuff, like. It seems like we're sick of just the glamour. Like, give us some human interest, right?
Oh, I agree. I don't know any statistics is what you were, I think, originally asking me.
Just thoughts, just perceptions, like how you feel about that.
I agree with you. I was thinking of what I was going to say in my head, so I missed kind of the last of what you were saying.
No. Sorry. Go for what you were thinking.
Okay, dead air.
In there, Ron.
Nope, all good.
There's a certain familiarity with things like that, and people do, especially in hard times, people love familiarity. And part of what we were talking about a little bit earlier with spending money on talent, I think that's necessary, because I think so many of our entertainment pictures and or animation runs on talent. People are going to flock to the theater to see Julia Roberts. They're not going to flock to the theater to see, Julia Hempsdale. They're just not. So you almost are guaranteed something with that. So you have to pay for that. I think it's the same with voice actors in animation. You can hear people in the theater. They're like, "Oh my God, that's so-and-so. Oh my God, that's so-and-so." Like they know that person.
Eat it up.
And so they feel a part of it. So I do think that's important. It's just, I don't think it's fair for voice actors, because when I was looking into voice and I was taking voice classes, everything was going to celebrities. And you would read copy and it would be like, read this like so-and-so. And it's just like, well, why don't you just get so-and-so? And that's what they do, So I've always
give us your best Sam Jackson, give us your best Christopher Walken, give us your best, you know what I mean? They try to do that all the time.
Exactly. So, yeah.
It's it's wild.
I'm sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, you get in there, K. Jacob. You tell them what's up.
I think another issue, and I, as much as I love, shitting on the people who hire me, I also have to say,
so
smart, right?
I still have to say, though, a lot of the responsibility comes down to the movie theater experience itself. I don't know if you guys have been to a movie recently, but for just one person, just to get in the door, I paid for a fucking matinee at 11 in the morning to go see Killers of the Flower Moon, excellent movie, with my girlfriend for her birthday. I'm a great boyfriend. For me and her both, I ended up paying $25 a piece for a fucking matinee. A matinee. I understand that the chairs are really cool and they recline, and you get that comfortable room and like popcorn itself, soda itself. I end up spending another $50 just to get 2 hot dogs, a big bucket of popcorn, and a fucking icy. Like it's insane. It's so expensive. If my kid wants to watch Wish Upon the Star, we'll watch it here at the house because he's going to want to run around with his clothes off and eat popcorn. I can't do that at the movie theater, and I damn sure ain't paying $50 for him to do that. I'll just sit here at the house where he's comfortable, and I can pause the movie so he can go to the bathroom and not miss it. Same for me. Like, it's just cheaper now and easier to just wait for it to hit streaming. And I guarantee you, a lot of these films that are failing, they're probably doing really well once they go to streaming. Like, I know, for example, Killers of the Flower Moon is doing really well for the theater. And I know as soon as it goes to Apple TV, it's going to do even better. because they're marketing it right and they're being patient. And they're like, yeah, we know it's getting views and all this. It may not be super high up there, but it's doing well. Other movies are like that too, where it's like, yeah, it's not doing that great, but then they'll immediately release it on streaming and it'll skyrocket. It'll go right up because people are more comfortable and can actually afford to sit in their fucking living room and eat popcorn that they buy for like $3 and drink all the soda they want from their own house.
Don't pay $3 for home popcorn.
It's Kirkland. It's like a box of 50 packages.
Okay, thank you.
Come on, man.
That's why at this point, that's why you have to go buy the movie passes. You have to buy the Regal AMC pass.
Rip off.
They are. I mean, honestly, it's like $22 a month,
and you have to spend so much.
They have to sign you up for 3 months. Going from there, then after that, you can quit. So they lock you in for 3 months. Better buy it when you know there's a lot of movies coming out. You're gonna go see it.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I do it for the show, and I go, but I tell you what, there's a lot of months they just get my $20 for like nothing, because I don't see a movie. So it's a racket what it's become. They make their money on the actual popcorn.
They're closing theaters though, right? Is the pricing? What is the pricing model reflective of? Is it reflective of the fact that people aren't going to the theater?
Regal bought ArcLight and Sherman Oaks.
Squeeze it out of the few people that are still going. That sucks.
Yeah, they're massive.
Sucks. Let's bring back the movie
massive
experience.
Conglomerate film studios like AMC, Cinemark, and Regal that are taking over all these like affordable, low budget movie theaters. Like you said, ArcLight. I know back home from Louisiana, we had other theaters that were like, we used to have a dollar cinema, which was great. Like I went and saw in the 90s, I went with my dad a year later to see Anaconda because things used to come out a lot slower back in the day to DVD or video. Yeah. And so like I went and saw Anaconda for $1 with my dad. And it was to this day the greatest film experience of my life. It was such a wonderful time. My dad probably in total spent $10 that day. That's including gas in the car, taking me for pizza, eating popcorn at the theater, spending 2 hours to watch fucking Anaconda, falling in love with Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube. It was fucking great. Like I love that shit. I'm a fucking man. But like that experience, you don't see theaters like that. Like there's no dollar cinemas. I'll settle at this point for a $10 cinema. I'll settle for that. And I'll go see a movie that's been out, and it can even still be streaming. I'll go see a movie that's been out for 3 months just because I can have the theater. I want the theater experience. I really do. But I can't
that's the thing. Like, I think we're at risk of losing, I think, what the actual medium is. And the actual medium, I say actual, like that's a no good Scotsman cognitive bias. But, or no
Get
true
in there,
Scotsman.
Mike.
But
that's Scotsman bias.
We want to see them in the theater. There's no interruptions. You've got this whole collective vibe of being in a room full of people that are laughing or people that are crying. Like it affects the experience. It affects the
even the annoying shit's still cool.
Throwing popcorn at the screen
because you say "oh shit" and then someone laughs behind you, like you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is.
It's not a perfect medium, but
it's not.
When even a mediocre theater experience, and best when it's good, like it's different. It's not the same as all the distractions that you have on your couch, right?
And also when the movie trailers start, it should just be movie trailers. I don't want to sit through TV commercials before my movie starts. I don't need a commercial for fucking Grey Poupon when I'm about to watch a movie. Like I already watched the trailer for Scream 7. Why are you now showing me a fucking TV commercial for a Honda Kia? Like I don't fucking care.
I also don't like that 15 trailers. I don't like that.
I know, you're right, Ron.
Like 15 minutes before the movie starts, give me 5 solid, awesome trailers. If I'm at a horror movie, I want 5 solid red band trailers. Yeah. Like, that's all I need. You got 15 minutes to get your shit and watch your movie. Because in 15 minutes, that movie starts. And during that 15 minutes, it's solid trailer action. No fucking car commercials. No fucking stupid, check out your iPhone commercial. And I'm not talking about, the shut your iPhones off and shut your cell phones off. I'm talking, actual commercials that I can go watch on TV. Yep. Like, I see that shit. And it's 30 minutes.
Yes.
30 minutes. 30. Like, my movie was supposed to start at 11:30. That bitch goes on at 12:05. That's 35 minutes.
That's a long time. That's a long time. And then they have the theaters have their own commercials afterwards. I know Regal plays the same commercial. AMC has the Nicole Kidman Part 2. You know what I mean? They have those, and it's like we don't want 35. I mean, that's like a thing we all fight about. Like that's too long for. I mean, I love trailers. I love them, but it's too long. Yeah. Like, let me know when a movie's gonna start because I have no idea. Then you go to a matinee, they give you like 15. And it fucks everything up because you expect 30. So like make it a standard and call it a day in theaters. Maybe that'll help. I don't know, but right now theaters have not been doing well. I don't want them to go out of business. I love them. I saw Cato say something about drive-in theaters. I love drive-in theaters. I wish we had more of those. I thought they were going to come back after COVID. Well, COVID brought some of them back, which is great. But, we don't have what we used to have when I wish we had more. But I think that overall Disney has a problem that it comes down to they've been just worried about money for too long. They spend too much. They don't pay their people enough sometimes. Sucks for how much you spend. They're not worried. They're not worried. Well, we're talking, but they're not worried, K. Jacob. Exactly. They're not worried.
I know.
Bob Iger knew we were going to sign that fucking deal for the SAG thing. He's like, he didn't care. He's like, he wants us to go back to work, and they'll find ways to exploit people. It happens every contract. That is what it is. That's the business, and they're always going to make their dollar at the end of the day, and we're always going to have a job, hopefully. And if we do, and they make their dollar, they'll keep us around. When we stop making a dollar for them, they'll get rid of us. But until then, hopefully the business does not change, and hopefully we still get to work, and hopefully that it's a generation for everybody. We can still go to theaters, have a good time, have that communicative experience, and we just enjoy cinema, and it doesn't go to the wayside of AI. But overall, I have no idea what the future will bring. I just know Disney needs to figure their shit out.